Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining on time. I really appreciate uh, people who join on time, and so wonderful to see such a huge number today. I was just give you a short introduction of who I am. Uh, my name is Dr. Anshul Dhingra. I'm a doctorate in management, and it's been 16 years as a professional in this beautiful industry, where I've been a trainer, where I've played a role of a trainer, consultant, coach. Uh, I am India's first certified coach and trainer by the world legend Brian Tracy, and I'm amongst the one of the top 30 directive communication psychology practitioners in the world, certified by the leadership guru Arthur Karmazi. So I've been practicing these things apart from my research, and trying to support people, trying to do a lot of work where uh, as a contributor, more rather than a trainer or a coach, as a contributor, because I've always believed in the giver's gain philosophy, and I've tried to contribute as much as possible. Uh, in last 3.5 years, I've been a consultant to almost 10 medium and small enterprises, where I'm consulting them for a wonderful growth, and I've been able to achieve exceptional results. So this is a little brief, and why I gave this introduction is because there's a reason for you to listen to me apart from the content. So thank you so much, the team Lee's Skills University team, Dineshji and everyone. It's a great opportunity for you to organize such a wonderful masterclass. And as a pioneer in the market, I've always seen the consistent effort of team leads to bring the best in the market, trying to support clients and people, even in this tough time of COVID. So to set the context, why we planned such kind of a workshop and what is the reason behind it, it's not a general leadership workshop or a masterclass, sorry. This is a very, very specifically designed masterclass. And the reason is not the topic. The reason is the time in which we are right now. The reason is the time which we all are facing right now. For some industries, there is an opportunity. So anytime, as rightly said, whenever a change will come, it will come either with a growth or a grief. So for some industries, this is a growth time. For many industries, it's a time of a grief. They are going through a bad time. In last 120 days, since 23rd March 2020, I've been consistently in touch with my clients and trying to support them, but I have seen a different pain. I have felt myself a different pain in people, a different amount of fear, a different percentage or a intensity of uncertainty, confusion, and I can sense the pain in their voices, be it corporate, be it SMEs, be it different organizations, different individuals. The leaders are facing the biggest challenge, which many leaders, like all of us right now on this masterclass, one of the biggest challenge which leaders have faced is winning the mind battle. There was a battle going inside the mind, which needs to be solved, which needs to be won first. And then there are people who are asking us, as a leaders, people are asking us, what will be the future? What will be the future look like? Whether our jobs will be safe or not, whether we will be able to do the same work in the same way later, whether we will be able to interact with people or not, whether we will be able to do all that things, whether we will be able to, how the normal will look like. So there is a lot of discussions, assumptions, perceptions, and perspectives of different individuals. So this masterclass becomes important because as a leader, when we are responsible, when we are accountable, we need to answer people. We need to show the direction to the people around us. And people believe us as a role model. There is a high amount of responsibility on our shoulders to show them the right way, to handhold them in this tough time. So for doing all that stuff, what is required? First, very, very important, to win the battle going on here. If we are able to win the battle in our own life, in our own mind, we can surely win the battle outside. Neuroscience for leader is the new way towards the future. And this becomes more prominent and this becomes more important during this tough time of Corona, during this pandemic time, because right now, all the theories of leadership, all the theories of leadership have been questioned. The people are following different ways. Something worked, something didn't. But right now, what is more required is to understand yourself first, is to understand how the world operates around us, is to go within ourselves and discover the real leader. Neuroscience, I would just like to know, please use the chat box. Let it be a two-way communication. I will be asking a lot of questions so that I make it very engaging for all of us. And I try to add as much value as possible in next few minutes, which we are together. So my dear friends, my first question to all of you, what is your understanding about the neuroscience? And this topic, neuroscience for leader, why do you think, okay, let me reframe the question. My question is, why do you think neuroscience is important for leaders in today's context? If you don't know much about neuroscience, doesn't matter. I'm here to share it with you. Something related to mind thoughts, wonderful, yes. Mind reading, okay. It's an art to master human being. Oh, wow, such a powerful phrase, Paramjit ji, mastering human being, wow. So dealing with emotions, yes, good, good. I want some more responses. Understanding the person better, connected to emotional intelligence. Yes, manager needs to be clear on how to resolve people concern which are not even spoken. Yes, very good. Why we do things, behave the way we do. Wonderful, wonderful. And how to keep motivated. Identifying and managing emotions, human behavior. Wow, great. So we have shared, wonderful. Yes. Now, moving ahead, I want to just give first, there are different presentations, there are different styles of presentations because now we are in a relationship as a facilitator. I will be with you for next 1 hour. So I want to just give you an out how I have created this. So this neuroscience is still is in discovery phase. It's not that it is something which is driven. There are many research which is there on neuroscience. There are many people who have their different point of view on neuroscience. I've read a lot of things about neuroscience, but still, there are some things which are still questionable. So whatever I was convinced, I took all that stuff, created a synchronization between that, and I have created this presentation. There are different ways in which I present. Today, my presentation will have a more of context as well as content. So there will be two aspects, context and content. There will be a little more of content. Why? Because I don't want to mix the right terms which I have taken from researchers, and I don't want to just narrate it through my perspectives. I don't want to give you my perspectives. I want to give you what I have taken it from the research, and then we probably can discuss and interpret on how we can, the how part of it. So what I request each one of you is to stay focused and focus on the screen, because there will be a literature, but every piece of information is going to add a lot of value today. So if you are ready to understand this powerful concept of neuroscience for leader, if you're really excited to know more and in depth about you, if you really want to encounter the best version of you or a relatively better version of you, just type, I am excited, quickly. Because we are not in a classroom, so let's and most of you have not turned on your videos, so I just want to see the excitement. Let it be on the chat. Wow, good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's amazing. So my first thing, what is it? What do you think this picture represents? What do you think this picture represents? Self-driving car, connected car, future of travel, automation, autonomous vehicle. Wow, great. Self-driven. Okay. Auto drive mode. Okay. Internet of Things. Yeah. So see, now the best part, before I start, there are two things I want you to focus on. The first thing I already told you is on my slide, and second thing on the chat. Why you should focus on the chat as well. You will be amazed to see all of us, we are right now listening to one topic, but we have a different way of interpreting things, different way of understanding and communicating things. Somebody, like for example, Joel just said Internet of Things. So Joel now is connected with IoT, and he might have a detailed understanding of IoT. Somebody who doesn't, he said autopilot car. Somebody will say automation. Somebody will say technology. So the best way but all of us tries our level best to interpret. This is one of the basic foundation of neuroscience. The way we understand things, operate things, and understand and interpret things, and then we communicate it to the world. We have different languages to communicate. We have different ways to communicate, and we understand all that. So let me just make it now. Why I use this picture? First, modern day car. This is the picture of a modern day car or a future car which will have a lot of automation, which will be having the best of the technology. How this concept of modern car is related with our brain and body. Isn't it amazing? Let's understand. Despite the extraordinary sophistication of modern cars, there are two vital fluids that must be in there for the car to run at all. And I hope all of you know that. The first one is refined volatile substance called petrol or diesel. Now, the volatile substance need a spark to create the explosion that releases energy to drive a piston or spin the jet blades. I hope we all know, because most of us might be driving cars. Second one is an oil. Oil doesn't need a spark, but its capacity to lubricate is vital in making the systems work well. Third category are some fluids, like you have coolants, hydraulic fluids, and other stuff. So most of the car owners can relate it to three things: petrol, what is volatile; second is oil, which is needed for lubrication in vital parts; and third is about coolants, hydraulic fluids for brakes, etc. How it is related to brain and body? Similarly, now if you understand, with the brain and body, there are two major chemical systems that control our behavior and well-being. One predominates in the brain, and just like petrol in an engine requires electricity to make it work, it is called neurochemistry of the brain. So today, I will be sharing certain jargons, but yes, it is a part of neuroscience, and it's a science, so you need to have that understanding. Don't puzzle them. Don't get puzzled with those jargons, but this is a way of understanding. So understand the basic foundation that will help you better. Second, the more like oil, the other chemical is more like oil, predominates the rest of the body. Within our body, circulates in the blood and is managed by the endocrine glands and is called endocrine system. In all kind of ways, endocrine oil work and make the body efficient for whatever task is in hand. They are vital to making the system work. They send message around the body telling it what to do. So see how modern cars are related. So we have, in the chemical composition, we have two things in our brain. First is neurochemistry, which is related to, like a petrol, it's inside and requires electricity or a spark within to spark it out, to to come into action. Secondly is an endocrine, which is circulated in the blood and is inside the rest of the body, and is predominantly make sure that we do the task in hand. So whatever we are doing, most of the things are governed by this endocrine system. Now the basic of leadership is born in the brain. And why leaders should care about the neuroscience? This is a question which is asked by various leaders. Why neuroscience now? Brain and the leader. Very important, an understanding. What does the brain do in our body? So brain, I hope all of us agree to this, that brain is the master controller for integrating all the systems in the body, including the main component of heart and guts. Can you tell me what do you think, how will you feel? Now my question, how will you feel if you don't have a brain? You minus brain, what does that mean? No feelings, okay? Sleep condition, robot, no me at all, death, wow, yes. Oh, vegetables, computers without CPU, happy world. Wow, Anshul Jan, that's the right answer. We really, today, people are really, messed up with the brain, and they really want the brain to just go out, clean itself and come back. Wow, good. So let me give you, leader, similarly, is the master controller in the organization. All of us right now, we are around 75 people in the room right now. All of us are leaders in different aspects of life, in different arenas of life, with different responsibilities, different accountabilities, with different, we are, managing different portfolios. As a leader, who we are also the master controllers in the organization. We can manage like brains of others. We are managing not only the brains of others, as well as by managing his or her, so that the follower's brain, it is an important understanding for the leader, so that the follower's brain want to tune themselves to the leader's brain. And when that happens, endless opportunities and possibilities arise. What happens in most of the organization, when as a leader, we get promoted to a leadership role, we have given a team to manage. When we started managing team, what challenges we face? We have different kinds of challenges in different organizations, in different setup. But the simple question, if we keep on asking ourselves as a leader, if a simple statement we keep on reminding ourselves as a leader, what impact it can create? The statement which says, if my core responsibility, if I say as a leader to myself, if my core responsibility is to tune myself to my followers, or the leader's brain, or my team's brain, because if we are aligned, if we are attuned to each other, if we understand each other brain and the way we interpret things around us, the way we operate inside our mind, we open the door of endless opportunities. Now, it seems very easy. Sometimes as a leader, we relate it with common sense. It's common. I think I can mix up with people around. I think I can do this, I can do that. It's simple. I can just sit with people, hear them out, and I can make them people align with my team. But most of the leaders end up utilizing or using their status or their designation to get the things done, rather than using their leadership style. And when that happens, that organization doesn't have the leader who can lead. The organization has a leader using a position to lead. And that becomes very critical. And I must tell you from a personal experience, in last 100 plus days, I have seen, this could be a little rude, but I'm sharing because it is a personal experience. I have seen leaders who were using their positions to guide people, who were using their positions to align people post-pandemic, were not able to do it because they have never learned the real art of leadership. They have never learned how the skills of empathizing. They have never learned the skills to manage, motivate, align people with the company's or the organizational goal. They have just utilized or used their position to get the things done. And when time was right, people were doing it. Why? Because they have different needs, and all needs can be fulfilled if there are certain criteria which they met. And if you have a boss who is not an adequate leader, or who just pushes himself as a leader, sometimes we have an option that we can go ahead, we can do something good, but sometimes we don't have certain options. But as a leader today, we need to wake up. As a leader today, we need to charge up. We need to, realign ourselves, remake ourselves, rethink, whatever is the thought about leadership. We need to just rethink everything and align ourselves, because today is the time when people need us the most. Today is the time when people need leaders, be it from the country. We need a leadership to lead us right now on the country front. Right now, we are also having various social, economical, political challenges which are going on. Similarly, there are challenges within the organization. And as a leader, we need to act like a brain. If there is no brain, you have written what will be the situation. Similarly, if you don't behave like the leader you should behave, if you don't act like the leader you should act, there could be the similar situations. That is why it is important that now we should have increasing knowledge about the brain, and leaders learn how to manage their own brain as well, in order to engage the brains of other people, working with them, for them effectively. How many of you give me a promise? The point now you're talking is amazing. Thank you, Rajesh, for your appreciation. I want to know, are you really convinced that this time as a leader, you will make sure that you give your best and give and show the true and authentic leader? If you agree, type I agree or yes, whatever. Great. That's a promise I need from everyone, because it is not just a learning or a masterclass. Right now, what we are talking, there is the need for the country as well. Our country needs leaders, empathetic leaders, authentic leaders, leaders who understand and know the way, show the way, and then take people along. So something like this. Wonderful. Thank you. Let's move ahead. My question to all of you: what are the top functions of a leader in an organization? What do you think are the top functions of a leader in an organization? Okay, to demonstrate vision, direction, lead to achieve business results. Wonderful. Motivate people, lead by examples and expectations, facilitate, define strategy, build culture, driving performances. Wow, good. Motivate and inspire. So, my friends, again, I will say, you should have your focused eye on the presentation as well as on the chat. If you see on the chat, something crazy, something wonderful is happening right now. People, with the words, I can just somehow sense what role that person will be in. Somebody saying driving performances. People are writing those answers which more or less is related to them or their department, or the way, the stream or the department they are in. Some people are writing motivation. Some people are writing performance. Some people are writing strategy and building culture. Some people are writing lead by example and setting expectations. Some people are writing vision and direction. Simply amazing. This is how we are. We need to understand this is how we are. We need to accept this is how we are. And second, most important, we need to similarly appreciate and understand people around us. If we are able to do this in a best way, today is the time we need to just explore it. Wow, good. And we need to change. Great.
1 second, who
Okay. I request the host to put everybody on mute. I will be really grateful. Thank you. Okay. So let's understand now top functions of a leader. Based on general understanding, based on what you all shared, is creating a vision, maybe setting strategies and strategic directions for the organization. It could be making decisions. It could be motivation and influence. These are somehow the top functions of a leader, commonly known. Am I right? Yes or no? Commonly known. Yes. Let's understand what is an expectation or a function of a leadership based on. Now understand top functions of a leaders from neuroscientists and psychologists perspective. Let's deep down into neuroscience now. Get excited. The first one, very, very important, is controlling and managing thought process such as attention and motivation. A leader needs to understand and learn this art of controlling and managing his thought process and people around, so that he cultivates and creates an environment which inspires creativity, which inspires motivation, which inspires freedom, and people move towards one direction. If different people with different thought process will be there, be it any leader, you will have the, if you understand, I think most of us know the different stages of team, correct? Forming, then storming, then norming and performing, and finally adjourning. If we have different thought process right now within our team, and we are not as a leader are able to control the thoughts or guide the thoughts, motivate the thoughts, then in our team, most of the time we will have the storming stage. And every time people with difference of opinion will clash. And every time my work of a leader will become the work of a manager, where I'm managing people to be on the right place. Second, task flexibility. A speed which switch in what you are doing. Task flexibility. What needs to be done, how it needs to be done, at what pace it needs to be done, how soon it needs to end. Something like this. A flexibility in the way the task needs to be done. It is not the my way or the highway. It is based on discussion. It is based on let people have the freedom to share things so that they feel they are accountable, so that they feel they are responsible, they feel a part and contribution. They feel they are also a part of the organization, and they feel that they are also contributing. Third, decision making, error correction, or troubleshooting. So neuroscientists and psychologists believe that leaders should be involved mostly in decision making, error correction, and troubleshooting. Fourth, managing higher cognitive processes. Now, what does that mean? Like flexibility of thinking, impulse control, concept formation, abstract thinking, creativity. Leader today needs to infuse that. I hope all of us know that when this kind of disruption will happen, what it will bring in the market. It will bring on the one hand, it will bring a lot of competition, a lot of difficult time for people. Their people are facing cash flow challenges. People are facing people challenges, leadership challenges, a lot of challenges within the system. But right now, there is an opportunity where a lot of new products and innovation needs to be done. And I'm proud to share with all of you, in last 120 days, I have pushed and motivated my 4 clients. Today, they are working with government, and they have started a different product line, and now they are doing exceptionally well. And in this time where people are facing challenges, they have not even cut a salary of single individual. A thought process which I drive from the day one, that we will bounce back. And because of that, the leadership in them, they started believing in that thought process. And what they did is they started that, believing in that and working on that higher cognitive processes. What leaders should do, according to neuroscientists, is dealing with new situations, or the one you are not well rehearsed at. Why? Because that is the one you're not, that are not habits or automatic responses underpinned by default pathways in your brain. Today, we all, as our leaders, what we have faced, The best, I was just interviewing a, a business or an industrialist, a very popular industrialist. I was interviewing around 2 weeks back, and I asked him one question, the same thing. Sir, this is a challenge which most of the leaders have faced, that they don't know what is the future. We don't know what is the future, how the new normal will look like. We are creating definitions, but are we 100% sure that this will be the new normal? No. But there are people within our organization who want to know what is the new normal. They believe that we are the role model and we know what is the new normal. They believe in us and they are looking up to us. They are looking for an answer. What should we do? This is the biggest challenge. And that is why leadership based on, so neuroscientists and psychologists believe that leaders should be engaged in certain situations like this, where that is unprecedented, never happened in the past. This is a new thing. How do you manage that? You must be involved in these kind of activities as a leader. And with God's grace, there will be tough times. I don't want to just say this, but that was a tough time for many organizations and many industries and us as a leader. But it also has given us a lot of opportunity to introspect our leadership style. Last but not the least, responding to dangerous events and overcoming ingrained behavior. For example, pattern of resisting temptation, anticipating that difficult review. Sometimes, if we go for a review, or there is a sales meet, or there is a different presentation, sometimes when we are not prepared, or there is certain things which can happen in that event. There are targets not met. There is a time of turmoil. Recently, we faced, all of us, most of the organizations in a small and medium industries have faced, they were not able to pay their people on time. They paid the salary in installments and all this stuff. When these kind of situation comes, how you react, rather respond. What is your style of dealing with this kind of a situation? These kind of situations, the more you encounter, the more you understand and explore the neuroscience within you, and you become a powerful leader every single day. If you like this concept, I want to know, what is out of these 6 things, what do you think is the most important for you? Out of these 6 things, what do you think is the most important for you? Getting into situations. Yes. Suhas Pai, you are a fighter. That's why this is the answer. Wonderful reply. Controlling thoughts. Good reply, Anshul Jain. Dealing with new situations. The last one. Okay, great. Shanti Sharma ji, dealing with new situations. Wonderful. Okay, great. Motivation. Task flexibility, switching fast. Wonderful, Mohit. Good. Managing higher cognitive process. Wonderful, Mansi Gupta. Controlling and managing thoughts. Great. So start with this one. This is the top one, which you liked, which you feel is more connected to you. Start with this and then start working on all these elements. This is about, from a research paper, I got these 6 elements. Get clarity and gain focus. Wow, great. Now understand, so there is there are technical people here. They know that there is a network outside, there is a LAN, there is a WAN, there is a lot of network. And if you are somehow related to technology, you understand a different network. Let's understand about brain network. I want to know how many people know that there is a brain network. There are 4 components of a brain network. If you know any of this, or yes or no, just type me. Do you know about the brain network? Yes. Wow. That's great. Great. Yes. Wonderful. Neurons. No. Okay. Great. Thank you so much for being so honest. Thank you. Yes and no, Swaminathanji. That's a wonderful reply. I know a bit. I want to know more. Wonderful. Okay. Let me just share it with you. So there are 4 key networks as described by Weiss and Manson. Mason. There is a research done by them, and it's an interpretation. Although they're different research, in some research they have identified 7 networks, 10 networks, 15 networks, blah, blah, blah. But this is a very relative, this is something which is very relatable. And the 4 network, which in our brain, and I want you to just pay attention and understand this. The first network is called the default network. The second network is called the reward network. Third is called the affect network. And the fourth one is called the control network. Default network engaged in introspection and in imagining a different time, place, or reality. Is based on visualization, how it will be in the future. Reward, which activates in response to pleasure. Affect network, which plays a central role in emotions. And finally, the control network, involved in understanding consequences, impulse control, and selective attention. And most of us, one of the challenge with most people shared with me in last 100 days is, while sitting at home, they have become selectively attentive. So let me move ahead and share it with you one by one quickly. So what do you mean by default network? A default network allows creative thoughts to flourish by transcending the present moment and environment, to think out of the box. So for it, now my question, default network, it is the single most thing I believe which can create happiness in our life. For all the leaders, I want to request you to pay your attention toward this point, because this is something we all need in our life. Maybe we have got as a kind of a lockdown, but still, this is something which we need more often. This is something which can make us a better, a powerful, a happy, a fulfilled individual from within. Now, my question, how often does your default network get free reign? Now, what does that mean? That means a day free, you switch off your phone, you put it on the side. You are least bothered about your phones. You are least bothered about your email. You want to just go sit with yourself, relax. You want to meditate, do yoga. You want to engage yourself in music, dance. Either if you want to have a drink in the night, whatever. How many times, how often, right? I will say, the question is, how often, I want to ask you all, does your default network get the free reign? How many times, or how often? Quickly. How often do you give time to yourself during evening? Okay. It's a me time. I'm just telling you, it's not just a me time. It's a much beyond than a me time. It's a time for you to sit idle, do nothing. It's a time for you to, have your creative juices running and giving you a lot of, different ways of, solving certain problems, situations in your life. Yes, I am everyday dance, music, exercise. Wonderful. That's wonderful. Really less. When I visit to native place and no network. Wow, Santoshi. Very good. Only while in sleep, weekends and holidays. So you need to be genuine with yourself. I'm just saying it with you. You need to be genuine with yourself in giving you this freedom. This is a must for all of us. We are all going through a tough time. The kind of decisions we are taking, the kind of decisions we have to take in future will require a lot of wisdom. And for a wisdom, we need to work on our default network. Okay, let me move ahead to the next part. Okay, this is something interesting. The Google has a 20% time policy. I know most of you, I just got it from a research, where employees get 1 day a week to work on a project of personal interest. Google are huge ambassadors of neuroscience in business with their sleep pods for napping and other initiatives. And I want to recommend each one of you, post this masterclass, don't forget to check a video by Sarah Mednick, which has which says, take a nap and change your life. Amazing research. While studying this neuroscience, I just saw this video. Amazing video, amazing concept. And this can really not only empower you, this can support you, with this understanding and learning, you can support people around you. A small nap can create a miracle in your life. I believe in default network. Wow, great, Rajeshji. So do not forget to watch the video, take a nap, and change your life. Now, second comes the reward network. Now, what is reward network? So there are certain basic human drives. For example, hunger, thirst, sleep, wake, sex. Pleasure and rewards are contextual. Pleasure and reward are contextual, based on the situation, based on the context, based on how intense and how different situations are. Things like creativity, emotional intelligence, and being able to plan the future probably improve your chances of surviving and passing on your genetic material more today than they did millions years ago. It is said that in humans, the reward network is also sensitive to secondary rewards. Now, what do you mean by secondary rewards? It is not directly related to physical survival or reproduction, such as money. Money is a secondary reward. So we need money. Yes, it is a proven fact today that for psychological and emotional well-being, or for example, a fulfillment, we need money. But that is a secondary reward. That's not a primary reward. If we confuse it with a primary reward, we end up in a mess. We end up either having a lot of money or having not money, or either struggling every time to see how we can make good money, but we don't know that this is a secondary reward, not a primary. So the focus needs to be diverted in that aspect, in that manner. The most important and complex issue here is that money registers a reward, dopamine, in the brain. We get excited with money, everybody of us. But things like fairness, fair dealing with people, fair to people, respecting people, sharing, learning, enjoyment of work, also releases dopamine equally, if not more, depending on the circumstances. So as a leader, sometimes I have seen many times this, leaders complain that sometimes, they complain that we believe that we are not paying our staff enough. We are not paying our people enough. I think the salary bracket which we can afford in our organization are not that great. I'm not talking about the great organization which have a structured way, but then still sometimes people feel that the salary bracket or the remuneration which people are making is not that adequate. But what this research says, the brain network, the reward network says that other components like sharing, learning, respect, fair to people, all these also releases the same amount of dopamine. So if you focus on other aspects, you not need to negotiate with people on money most of the time. People, I think there's a lot of research on this also. People don't leave just for money. People need for different reasons. People need because of a manager. People need because of a leader. So what is very important today to understand from this reward network is that there are different elements which release the same dopamine, and we need to focus on that as well. Affect network. Affect network, will you admit that most of your decision, so this is my question to all of you. Will you admit that most of your decisions in your personal and professional life are biased by emotions? Quickly, write down. Wow, thank you, Rajesh Sarkarji. Most of the time, yes. Then we try to apply our logic to it, yes. Mamta ji, whatever logic we apply, how many times we'll apply, how many times we try to behave in the most logical way possible, still there are various research which proves that most of our decisions are biased by emotions. Try not to be, but we end up doing it. Isn't it, Sumangla? There is a struggle to maintain objectivity. Yes. Very few leaders understand to use affect network. Yes, Rajesh Sarkarji, that's perfectly right. So there is an inordinately large nerve supply between the gut and the limbic, deeper emotional part of the brain. So whenever a gut feeling is what? Is a neurological occurrence that originate a physical response. And within this system, a part called the hippocampus. You don't need to understand or go deep into those jargons. If you want, the creative images of these jargon, just connect with the team leads team. I will share these informatics infographics with all of you. Don't worry about that. Okay. So there is something called hippocampus, which stores memories associated with certain emotions. What happens now? Gut feelings. Gut feeling is a neurological occurrence. It occurs because of a reaction, a nervous system response that generate a physical response. And that is the reason we are able to take actions, because of that gut feeling. These patterns and emotions can move our limbic system. What is our limbic system? Deeper and emotional system, which is more emotionally driven, into the brainstem and body, and trigger changes in our body like sweating, blushing, goosebump, increased breathing, and heart rate. These are all the data that can be used to inform our decision-making process. So what happens in the affect network? It will help you understand in detail. When you understand this in a detailed network, you will understand why and how different responses and patterns are created, and how neurologically in the hippocampus it stores the memories associated with certain emotions. So we have all memories associated with certain emotions. Emotions of fears, emotions of struggle, anger, depression, emotions of uncertainty, all these kind of different emotions, we have certain memories associated with them. Whenever this kind of any situation came or any situation arise, certainly hippocampus give that information, and we try to associate the past memories and try to respond or react in that manner. Now, there is a very beautiful statement which says, between the stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. Most importantly, in our response lies our growth and our freedom. Forces beyond our control can take away everything we possess except the one thing, and that is our freedom to choose how we will respond to the situation. I want to give you all a definition today. And simple definition, most of you have heard: event plus your response is equal to outcome. Small things, be it doing a brush in the morning, be it having a breakfast, be it having a first morning meeting with our colleagues, be it a leadership review, be it talking to your wife, having a discussion with your parents, having a discussion with your kids, boss, anything in your life from morning to evening. These are all small events. To all those small events, how you respond to those events, to those situations, defines the result of those situations. So event plus how you respond defines the outcome of that situation. I hope this is going to be a good thing if you really apply. This is one of the 7 habits: stimulus and response. Yes, great. Okay, so the final one is the control network. The control network and the default network operate in a seesaw relationship. They are in a seesaw relationship. Now, how it happens? The control network and the default network. The default is the first one. I hope you remember. That is control for task and focus is on the control. Control network guides and demonstrate control for task and focus, whereas default network is for creativity and imagination, operate in a seesaw relationship. That is, by diverting the flow to the region that produces the relevant neural firing, so they cannot be active at the same time. Either the default will be active or the control will be active. You can't have both. And the question which I asked in the default network, that when you give your time, free time to have, the free time or to introspect, to go deep into that visualization mode or in a creative thinking mode, that cannot happen in a controlled environment. So if you are somebody, if you are a leader, or someone as a leader who tries to control people and then expect them to perform creatively, then try to innovate or work in an extraordinary manner, that will never happen, because the blood flow will be towards the region, or the neural firing will happen in that region which is dominating at that time. The control network allow us to override some of our instincts and impulses from other network to achieve our goals, prioritize and focus without losing the track of what is going on around us. But there is always, you need to remember, there is always a seesaw between the control and the default network. You can't have the both. Either it's like this or like this. Sometimes you can balance, but it is very, very crucial. So, what amongst those four network do you think you really need attention? What is that first network you will pay attention to? Quickly, I want to know, what is that first network you will immediately start paying attention? Control, okay. Wow, good, good. Wow, different people, different answers. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Okay, let me go ahead and ask you these questions. Now we will now, it's all about, now we got a lot of information about the neuroscience as a foundation, as a research. Now I will take you towards 7 fundamental steps toward creating your leadership identity based on neuroscience. And before I start, I want to ask you certain questions. These are all thought to think. Just answer yes or no if these kind of questions pop up in your mind. How do I become the person that I would like to be? How do I become more organized and successful in what I do? How do I stop worrying about what others think? Why can't I make better decisions all the time? How do I motivate myself? Why do I have such a low opinion of myself? How do I stop emotions that prevent me from reaching my professional potential? How do I stop overreacting? Why do I sometimes become so irrational in my thinking? Why can't I remain faithful? Why do I feel judged all the time? How do I make my relationship work? If these questions pop up in your mind, if some of these questions come in your mind, just type yes. If these kind of questions, some of these questions come in your mind, just type yes. Wow. Good. Thank you for being so honest. Lovely, lovely. I'm really enjoying it. And I hope the same, you are also enjoying the masterclass. So now today I want to unleash this process. This is based on a lot of research. So, this is a 7-step process which I created out of a research model. And this is about unleashing the leadership identity based on neuroscience. If you allow me, then, and if you're excited to know how to unleash the leadership identity based on neuroscience, just let me know. Yes, how to stop overreacting. Wow, great. Yes, yes, yes. Great. Thank you. Because this is something, if you are active on chat, this gives me an understanding that you are aligned and with me. Okay. So what is leadership identity? Let's have an understanding and overview based on neuroscience. Our identity is the essence of why we can be completely unstoppable in some instances and totally unmotivated in others. Very simple. I want to just repeat this statement. Our identity is the essence of why we can be completely unstoppable in some instances and totally unmotivated in others. We are so random. The decision we make, the rules we create through those decisions, the way that our brain processes those decisions, the way we fulfill our needs and the value that we live by reflects on our performance in our job and our relationship and our contribution to others. Our direction in life, who we are at our core and who we want to become, seems to be guided by an internal influence, not by an external influence. It is guided by an internal influence, yet we often unknowingly fight against it and cause unnecessary dissatisfactions in our life. Very few of us have discovered how to direct these driving forces and use them in our decision-making process every single day. And very few of us have gone inside to realize the true potential of a leadership identity. How many of you agree with this? How many of you agree that there is an internal influence who is guiding us, but most of the time we create dissatisfaction, we create fight with it, we just start, because of not having faith in it, we start fighting or having a clash within our own thoughts, and we try to just, create hurdles unnecessary in our own way. It is obvious, yes. It's obvious because we make it obvious. Swaminathanji, it is obvious because we make it obvious. Do you agree? We are the most, difficult people to understand. Whether it's so many research about neuroscience or other things, we are still unbelievable, amazing. Very much, yes. Internal influence decides the decision making. Yes, it is really very critical for all of us to understand. Now, what this next slide says, leadership identity. Now, I want to give you the definition. Leadership identity, and I want you to please write it down. You will not get it in any Google literature. Is the result of a cross between cultivating a greater awareness of how and why we react to our environment, and a consciousness of who we are at our core. A consciousness of who we are at our core, and how it's a cross between cultivating a greater awareness of how and why we react to our environment. When we know the cause of our reactivity, we are able to process the event around us more intelligently. Most of the time, we are really not aware about why we are reacting to those situations. Is there any logic behind it? Is there any reason, strong reason behind it? Or is it just because we don't know how to handle the situation? We try to react. So what it says, when we know the cause of our reactivity, and when we become aware, greaterly aware, and then we start focusing on these aspects, we become we know the cause of reactivity. We are able to process the event around us more intelligently by using the part of our brain that reasons instead of that which instinctively react. So moving ahead, you will understand that there is a brain which is rational, which is logical, which is trying to create logical relations between different thoughts and try to give logical replies. It is called the intelligent brain, or we can expect certain intelligent input from that. But there is an emotional brain. Then there is a reptilian brain. A reptilian brain start reacting, because when we don't know how to react or what to do in that situation, when we don't know how to handle the situation, when we are in a situation where we don't know what to do, how to do, and most of the time we end up being more reactive. Finally, we then have the ability to make decisions based on the source of the greatest self and allowing ourselves with the ideal person we would like to become. And when this happens, everything else falls in place. So what we need to do, two very, very important aspects in this definition. One, we need to create a cross between cultivation of greater awareness of how and why we react to environment. So we need to be a little more focused. We need to be more conscious. And secondly, we need to be conscious of how we are at the core. As a leader, in last 120 days, most of us have been affected by the environment. But as a core leader, where we are responsible, we are accountable for certain results. People expect us to perform like a leader. People consider as a role model. And most of the time there is an expectation for us to behave like a role model, and we need to do it. That is why these two elements are very, very important. Let's understand. Step one, understanding the difference between thinking and reasoning. May I know the difference between thinking and reasoning? Quickly, on the chat box. Shanti Sharma ji, awareness and core need to be aligned. Should not deviate from the core, and you should be aware of your surrounding. That is what is the conclusion. Process and output, okay. Okay, can I expect some more response? Thinking can be beyond reason, logic impacting current situation. Okay, thinking deviating from our routine. Reasoning is understanding of environment and respond. Wow, great. Thinking may go in any direction, but reasoning is logical. Wow, good. Hari Krishna says, why and how, reasoning, get to know why. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for lovely responses. Now I give you the answer. What is the difference? The difference between thinking and reasoning here is referred to as intelligence. Thinking is the process that interprets events and surroundings. Whatever surrounding and events are going out, how we interpret those is our thinking. And what is that reasoning? Reasoning takes stores of those interpretations and determine if they are true. So it puts a more of logic behind it. It puts rationality behind it. Many times we stopped at thinking. Now, there is an irony to this. We understand that reasoning is more powerful. But what happens in a normal situation, and I would like all of you to pay attention and let me know whether this holds true for you or not. Many times we stop at thinking. We combine emotions that we have associated with the event that is stored in the hippocampus and decide that if it is true without reasoning. This is because by the time we get to the thinking part, we have already started acting and more fittingly reacting to the situation. All of us, most of the time we try, because we believe we have gone through this situation. We believe we are powerful enough to handle this situation. We believe that we have got everything what is required to be known for this situation, and we start taking actions or handling that situations, or rather when it comes to understanding this in a detail, it says rather started reacting to the situation. To reason, we use more evolved part of our brain, and when our brain is more relaxed or composed, it operates at its peaks. That is the reason the default network is required, because when our brain is more relaxed or composed, it operates at its peak. The problem is that we usually not go in that default mode most of the time. We feel that we are in the default mode. Default mode is not having a good time with your family. Maybe having it could be, but not the exact way. It's not having a dinner with the friends and family. It's not having a dinner with the kid. It's not having watching a movie or doing something like this. It's something beyond than that as well. Default network help you become the true leader, help you unleash the best out of you. And that is why it happens, because the brain is more relaxed and it operates at peak. But the problem with most of us, we usually operate in a state that is much less efficient and more prone to reactions. And that is why, whereas when we are using our intelligence, there should not be any internal conflict. So a brain can operate in a more naturally relaxed state, and we can therefore take better decisions without obstacles and reactive perceptions. So just by understanding the default network and trying to be more in that default network, what will happen? We will be towards more of reasoning. And when we will be towards more of reasoning, the intelligence will come and play its role. And we will be more informed, more intelligent, and more fulfilled leader, which we really want to be in our role. How many of you agree? Yes or no? How many of you agree? We all want to be an intelligent and a control leader who understands and utilizes the best of his ability and creates an aura around. Yes, absolutely. Meditation is the best for default network. Yes. Okay, great. Great, thank you. Now let's move to the step 2. Step 2 says understanding the 3 parts of the brain. Amazing discovery, and most of you might be aware about it because all of you are related to the learning and development or training. You might have attended trainings, or you are a part of the training, you know about this. But let me just explain for the people, those who are not aware about this. So 3 parts of the brain. I want to just give you an understanding. It's called cognitive, limbic, and primitive reptilian. And I want to give you a beautiful example today to understand this in a better way. So what is a cognitive brain? Uh, Cognitive generally has a 70% of the composition. Limbic has around 20% of the composition, and primitive reptilian is around 10%. But that 10% is the worst, is is our enemy. Most of the time it behaves like, enemy. And I will give you a wonderful logic today, which I've created based on my own understanding and learning. Okay, so the cognitive part of the brain, sometimes referred to as the thinking cap, as this part of the brain engages in higher order cognitive processes such as your reasoning, your analyzing situations and projects and work, and conceptualizing it to make us mentally intelligent. Very, very strong word, make us mentally intelligent. So cognitive plays this important role. All that, a different, it's having another different definition as well in a detailed way. But second is a limbic part. It is the control center. It is called the control center of the brain, as this part controls our voluntarily bodily functions such as motor skills. It is also called the action brain, and it is the brain, it is that part where emotion comes from. And that is why this is very, very important. It plays a 20% role. The third one is a primitive reptilian brain, and the reptilian brain, or the reactive center, deals with our primal need to survive. So whenever this 10% gets activated, it squeezes the energy of 90%. And now I give you a very simple example for you to understand. Sometimes you might have seen people going out in the car, on a drive, maybe towards office or somewhere, and somebody hits their car from the back. What happens? Normally people get into a fight, they get angry. Somebody comes out, they comes out of the car, they start, using bad language or getting angry on each other. Why does that happen? That happens because of the reaction by the primitive reptilian brain. People were not aware. Oh, sorry. The man or the woman who was there driving the car was not ready for that. He was not aware that this is going to happen. He was not ready for this situation. And when we are not in a control of a situation, when the situation is unprecedented, which happened like on 23rd March, or this Corona complete impact, what was it? What most of us initially did, most of the countries initially did, if you see, they have not applied various logic. Even the WHO failed in that initially, when it started in Wuhan, and later now it has taken the world to a standstill. What happened? Initially people started, all those action which has happened initially was primitive reptilian brain action. And I want to just give you one example. Most of you will relate to it. So according to Hindu mythology, if you have heard about Ramayana, I think during this lockdown we have all seen Ramayana. There is a beautiful statement in the Ramayana which says, Vinash kale viprita buddhi. What happens? Vinash kaal ke waqt buddhi vipreet काम करती है. Intelligence होगा, experience होगा, लेकिन सब चीजें काम नहीं आती और बुद्धि विपरीत हो जाती है. वो कब होती है? This is referred to as primitive reptilian brain. The 10% squeeze the intelligence and emotion, and that is the reason, because of this primitive reptilian brain in our mind, in our brain, we have regrets in our life. How many of you agree that we all have one or the other regrets in our life, that we have done certain things in that time where we have a little regret? At that time when we were taking that action, we were not having that regret. But later, when that primitive reptilian comes down and we started evaluating intelligently and emotionally, we realized that we have done mistakes. And that is the reason we have regrets in our life. Agree? Yes. So most of the time when we have regrets, is the same principle plays a role. Vinashakala viprita buddhi. Viprita buddhi here refers to your intelligence and your emotional brain, which will not support you when there is a time of crisis, when you need it the most, when there is a situation or an event where you cannot handle or you don't know how to handle. So what happens based on that, it is a part of us that represent patterns and behaviors that we usually do not like, patterns that often prevent us from taking actions on opportunities and keep on procrastinating, patterns of fears and sometimes stupidity. Now, moving ahead, to elevate yourselves, ourselves, to the greater level of being a human being and sidestep our primitive reptilian instincts, we need to respond, not react. So what we need, when we need to respond and react, what we need to be in default network. We need to understand the power of control network. We need to unleash the power of default network, and we start trying to respond to the situation rather than reacting. And second, we need to reason things and not just think. And to start this, what we require a bigger circle of tolerance. We all require a bigger circle of tolerance. And I want this commitment to all, not as a learner today. I want this commitment from all of you as a citizen of the country, that all of us as a leader, we will pledge, or we will promise that we will increase our circle of tolerance. Because the more the bigger the circle of tolerance, the more we are in a controlled situation, the more we will respond. If you say you confirm me, please write it down. You agree that you will have a bigger circle of tolerance. You promise me as a leader of the country. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I hope you all understand that this is the need of the hour. People expect us to be more tolerant as a leader. And based on the neuroscience and this understanding, you need to understand that we need to respond more rather than react, and we need to reason more rather than just think. I pledge to increase the circle of tolerance. Wonderful. Thank you so much. That's indeed wonderful. Now coming to the step 3, understanding and fueling the identity evolution journey. There is a journey to create your leadership identity. If I want to ask this question before I move ahead, I hope you are understanding and you are aligned with what I'm saying. And you want me to continue this quickly. Just let me know. Are you all getting the value? Oh, wow, good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's lovely. You all made my day today. So understanding and fueling the identity evolution journey, very, very important concept. This is a picture I took from one of the research, what says that there is the central core identity, and it's get impacted and influenced by something called identity environment. The environment which we got since our childhood. The environment we got through our friends, the environment we got from our parents, the environment we got in our organization, in our school, in our colleges, in our different part of the society where we have lived, engaged, or worked. Second, learned rules. There are certain rules which we have all learned. And there are certain rules which we have learned, and within those rules, this is something called encoded assumptions. There are certain assumptions which we all have lived with. And I want to just share one assumption, and you all will agree, and you all will laugh on that. अगर आपको याद हो, जब हम एग्जामिनेशन के लिए हम जाया करते थे, तो दादी जी या मम्मी चीनी दही के अंदर डाल के हम सबको खिलाते थे, correct? And I still can't figure out that encoded assumption. There is an encoded assumption. Still, I've seen in many houses, this is an assumption that before examination, they put sweets in the curd, they mix it, and then they give it to the child. And I have seen many people in that same class having that curd, and despite that, they failed. Despite that, they got just passing marks. Despite there are certain who got exceptionally great marks. Is it because of the curd? Is it because of the sugar inside the curd, or what? Or is it an encoded assumption? This happens, there are multiple things. Billi rasta kaat jati hai, aisa hota hai, waisa hota hai. Every region, every state, every society has different encoded assumptions. And through those assumptions, we have created certain rules. Now, the third element here, it's called different brain communication. I will talk about it later. There are layers of incongruence we are not aligned with. They are temporary need satisfaction. Survival. Nice to have such customs. Yes, we are nice to have such customs. I don't deny that. There are, people, when we understand this from an assumption point of view or different point of view, there is a neuroscience point of view, there is a different understanding to that as well. Okay, let's understand what happens in an evolution journey. Point number one, it starts with, we are consistently evolving as a leader while our genetic foundation, I hope you all understand what is genetic foundation, the way we are born, genes we got from our parents, and natural gifts which we got may stay the same. Our values change, our needs change, our perceptions and beliefs changed based on our past experiences, our perception of our future, and our immediate environment. I want to repeat this for you. We are consistently evolving as a leader. While our genetic foundation and natural gift may stay, whatever we are born with, whatever natural gifts we got by the grace of Mother Nature and Almighty, by our parents, this is all going to be, stay with us. But what changes? Our values, our needs, our perceptions, our beliefs, and based on our past experiences and perception of our future and our immediate environment. Three things which is there: past, present, future. Second, we seem to be reacting to what happened around us instead of evolving from our being. We need to understand that every single day we are evolving as a being, as a human being. We are evolving. We are taking more decisions. And there are various research which proves that today, as a leader of different organizations at different works, we are taking 10 times more decisions than our forefathers have taken in a year. Every single day or a week, we are taking much more decisions than our forefathers have took in complete in a year. That is the kind of change we are living in. That is the kind of the rapid, the changes. Time is changing so fast that we are taking so many decisions every single day. And all of us, I hope you all know that. And I want to just reiterate, I think you all know that, but still I want to just say it. We all, as a leader, are paid for one thing. Mostly, we are all paid for taking decisions. If our ability to take decisions goes away from us, nobody is going to hire us, nobody is going to pay us. Very true. Third, as we develop greater awareness, we increase our consciousness. And this consciousness, let us see the past, let us see past the layers that hide this core self. There is a core self. Abhi ek हमारा core self था और है, जो हम ओरिजिनली हैं, जो हमारी ओरिजिनल स्ट्रेंथ है, हमारी ओरिजिनल आइडेंटिटी है, हमारी कोर बिलीफ सिस्टम है. लेकिन एक नेचुरल सेल्फ था, एक अडेप्टिव सेल्फ है. मुझे एनवायरनमेंट ने चेंज किया. मे बी एनवायरनमेंट हैव चेंज्ड मी, मे बी सिचुएशन, सर्कमस्टांसेस, इवेंट्स हैव चेंज्ड मी, एंड आई एम नॉट राइट नाउ ऑपरेटिंग एट माय कोर सेल्फ. What I am operating is something on an adaptive self. When then becomes more empowered to assess our values, needs to direct them for more robust life. Fourth, this offers greater flexibility in the direction of our life and the direction of who we want to be. Because now we are more in control of this situation. We are more in control and more aware of who we are and what we are doing and what it will result into. And finally, the power of everything we have ever wanted, and to make the decisions to achieve that, it is the discovery of our core identity. If we are able to work on this core identity, understanding all these elements around, this is going to be the biggest discovery we all can do as a strong leader. All these layers stripped away, and it is the discovery of our core identity. And once all these layers stripped away, the evolution of our identity becomes our choice. We will not be influenced by any negative impact. We will be in control of maybe the difficult situations we face and encounter. We will be able to manage our people well. We will have more love and belongingness with the people. We will have more fulfilled life as a leader, be it personal and professional life. This is the journey of an evolution which we all have to live. How many of you promise me to go through this evolution journey to unleash your core self and discover your core self and start working on your core self? How many of you promise? Wow, good. Thank you. Okay. Step 4, understanding how to control and subdue uncomfortable emotions and avoid bad and worse feeling. Now let's understand. I want to give you an example of ocean, wave, and a lifeboat. Okay. For you to understand how to control or subdue uncomfortable emotions and avoid bad feelings. So I will take another 10 more minutes, 10 to 15 to wind up the things. And I hope if it is adding value, stay tuned and be focused. Assume yourself, okay, all of you, all the leaders present in the room, assume yourself, you are at your leadership ground every day. As a normal thing, you are in your working environment playing the role of a leader. And as a leader, what you need to do, you need to take a lot of decisions every single day. So you are every day, you are as an ocean of decision. And each wave will take one in your direction. It will take you either in your direction or in other direction. So now it's your choice. If we ride the wave that looks like it will take us away from the current bad place, there could be a possibility we will end up going to a good place and we will be able to overcome that. But there is another situation, we may end up unable to stay afloat and we begin to sink because it's a huge wave. Second, the lifeboat in this situation, what is it, lifeboat? Lifeboat is our conscious. How we interpret situation, how we quickly interpret that situation, how we evaluate pros and cons as a leader and try to interpret the situation and take corrective action or take a good response to that. The voice that tells us that we should or should not take it is our conscious. The question is whether we listen to the voice or follow superficial appearances. There could be superficial appearances. कुछ भी ऐसा आता है life में, ऐसा दिखता है कि ये wave है. I think that can take me along and will take me to a right path. This wave could be an opportunity for me. This wave could be a survival, a ray of hope for me, but this could not be. So sometimes superficial appearance can be wrong. Survival depends on our ability to see what is it that is really happening. The more aware we are, the more in control of our core identity we are, the more empowered we are, we will be the better leader and we will know how to face in the ocean, be it we are in the ocean and we'll be able to face it. Now the second thing, what happens? Let's assume another example. If we choose to ignore our core identity, what will happen? For the sake of a temporary good feeling, most of the time it happens. Sometimes for a short gain, we don't look at the bigger future. We will drown in the layer of our own, the deceit, and spiral downward in the gap, leading a life that is not congruent with our true self. So this is what we'll end up breathing dissatisfaction because we have not done things based on our core identity of who we are. And therefore, catching the right wave is what this is all about. Even if you have been riding the wrong one, or even if you are drowning, it is never too late to catch the lifeboat and get back on your way to greatness. So how many of you believe that you will strongly work on your core identity because you want to analyze the right wave for you, catch the right wave, and be aware that a lifeboat is there? Every time you need to be aware. Okay, let's move ahead. Step 5, understanding and embracing the colored glass syndrome. Now, what is colored glass syndrome? Anybody is aware about colored glass syndrome? Just type yes or no quickly. Okay, let's assume, no problem. Now my question to all of you, imagine if you wear, imagine if you wear green goggles, green shades, okay, green goggles, how the world will look to you if you have green goggles on your eyes. How the world will look to you, quickly. Green, yes, most of the things or all things green, pretty much in green. Great. Now let me ask you this question. If it is, if you just quickly, I give you a red goggles to wear and you wear a red goggles, how the world will look like now? It will look like red. What does that mean? I want to give you this. This is called colored glass syndrome. What does that mean? That means individually me and people around me have their own shades of glass. Somebody is looking at this thing in a green way. I am looking at the same thing in a red way. It depends on what kind of glass we wear. It depends on what kind of glass we wear at that situation. Now, understand what happens. Have you ever been talking to someone, explaining something clearly to the extent you are absolutely sure that they must understand? As a leader, we do it every single day. And then they just don't get it. And you probably think that person is an idiot. Why he's not able to understand? I've explained it in such a clear, detailed way. I've explained it multiple times. Now the best part is the other person thinks, what does other person now is interpreting? The other person interprets and thinks that you don't know how to communicate. The true situation. Now, so colored glass syndrome is not everyone wears the same colored glasses and each see different things from the same circumstances. What are your colored glasses? Why? What is what is the learning from this? Learning is we need to first accept and understand that every person has a different colored glass. Colored glass is based on his assumption of life, his assumptions, his encoded assumptions which he got from his parents, which he got from the society, which he got from his environment, which he got from his school, which he got from his college, his working environment, his first boss, his first manager. All these people have contributed in creating a colored glass for him. And that is why it is very important for you to first understand and respect the colored glass of different people around you if you really want to be a powerful leader. So this is something. Now I want to just take it to the step 6. So create a mastery in colored brain communication model. I want to give you this website called coloredbrain.com if you want to go and understand and read the complete research on what is colored brain. It's an extended version of colored glass syndrome. I want to just give you a detail and understanding, and I am practicing colored brain communication model for last 10 years. And I'm one of the top 30 certified consultants across Asia who has been certified in all levels of colored brain communication. I want to just give you how it operates. Each color has a unique way to perceive information and the world around them. What happens is that each color has a unique process. Like for example, there are people around you, you might have done DISC assessment, MBTI, or different psychometric assessment. They have a different way of interpreting things. But here in this colored brain, the output comes out as an understanding from their genetical makeup. Genetical makeup, how genetically they are brought, how environment have influenced in their life. So each color has a unique process to make sense of what they experience. Always remember what makes sense to make them what they experience. Each color has a unique way to form structures, conclusions, barriers, and solution. So there are 4 different kind of brain color, and each brain has a different characteristics. The brain is a chaotic process where a person believes in taking action. There is a brain which says that I want to evaluate information first, and then I will take slowly certain actions, and then whatever actions I take, I will evaluate those actions and then take further actions. The third part is about an emotional brain, which is like treating people fairly, giving respect to everyone, blah, blah, blah. And then there is a brain which is a brain of a scientist, which requires a lot of information and insight before taking any decision. Sometimes people consider them as stupids. People consider them, they are procrastinating things, but they are the real genius within themselves. And they are the people who operate in the default and network most. And when they are in the control zone, they utilize the control network amazingly. So what happens? Different brains, different understanding, different structure. Why this learning is required for you? Why you need to be more aware of this? This is a psychometric, but you need to be more aware of this. And any one of you who would love to understand this in depth, in details, just I will share the email address of the Team Lee's team. You can just drop an email and we'll get in touch with you and get you the access link for this. This is simply amazing. You will not only be a wonderful leader in your working environment, you will be amazed to see how it is going to impact your relationship with your wife, with your father, with your mother, with everyone around you. This is simply a super amazing tool. So what happens in different understanding, what is achieved? A clarity is achieved. And once you know, have a clarity of what different people around you what kind of model they operate, how they interpret environment, how they perceive things, how they are operating in different mode, you will align the right person to the right role. You will give the right, you will delegate the right work to the right people. You will do, mentor, coach, align the right people in the right way. And slowly, as a leader, you will spend right time and with the right resources, creating right output. Right time with right resources, creating the right output, which will not only give you better sense of contribution and a better sense of achievement, gratification. You will be able to groom people around you in the right spirit. And finally, you will be able to take more powerful, informed, and controlled action based on the clarity you got. Super amazing tool. I would love all of you to go to coloredbrain.com, understand the model, and if you really want to go in detail to connect with the Team Lee's team, we will support you. Step 6, human drivers. This is going to be the second last model. Human drivers, the power behind human psychoproductivity. What happens? Most of the time, we all are driven by certain human drivers at every age of our life, at every time of our life. Every decision we make, in every action we take, it can be linked to at least one of the 8 human drivers I'm going to share with you right now. These needs drive our motivation and greatly affects the emotions we have towards anything. Awareness of how these needs affect us is a compass, is like a compass to what affects our identity, and more importantly, why is it affected? These needs and importance, how you rank them, that plays a very important role. And I will give you a beautiful example, and you will be able to relate it with your personal life as well. And finally, the studies have shown that genetic makeup of our brain will also have an effect on which need we would rank them over the other. It also has a deeper impact. Now, these are the 8 emotional human drivers. The first one is belonging. Connection from being with others, connection with self. Some people, belonging is the something. So human drivers, if you just consider it as a layman language, what is driving you right now? I want to give you one simple example. Assuming when you started working, when you got the first offer letter, and that happiness, that curiosity or happiness within us that we will now start earning, we will have our own money. At initial stage of our life, maybe for some of us, belonging, or for some of us, recognition was the human driver, which was driving at that time. For some, money was the human driver. For some people, different elements could be, sense of achievement could be a human driver. So mostly it is money at that time which drive when we start our journey towards a professional journey. When we are in that professional world, what we want now, we want people to recognize, we want our boss to recognize our efforts. What comes in our mind at that time? What we need to do? We need to be recognized, or there is a sense of achievement. We want to prove ourselves that we are better. We need to grow ahead in the hierarchy, and we start doing achievements. So sometimes achievement is the human driver, and sometimes recognition is the human driver. That both are contributing at that time. Then you achieve a stage where you are doing exceptionally good. You have achieved a stage, you are getting a good amount of money, you have got a recognition in the society. Now what you need? You need excellence. You want to really, either you want to improve yourself, you want to search for excellence and go towards excellence, or you start towards contribution. And parallelly, what happens in your life? Once you start settling down in a professional environment, in personal life, we all get married during that time. What happens? Then slowly and slowly, belongingness towards the family, towards my wife, towards my better half started increasing at that time. So now this is conflicting. Sometimes these two, then I need to balance. Sometimes I'm aggressive towards achievement. Then I need to understand the power of belonging, and I need to manage, and I need to understand and manage both. Then slowly and slowly, what happens in my life? But we have kids now then in our life, and then we have parents who we need to take care, then we have kids, then we have family, and we are in a professional life as well. What comes in our mind as a human driver? Security. We want security of our family. We are no more alone now. We are not bachelors now. We need to think of the family. So now there is a security, and then there is a parallel professional human driver which is driving at that time. So different drivers are driving us, and we need to be consciously aware of what driving us, or either we can consciously command our brain and guide us toward or motivate it towards one of the drivers and start working towards that drivers. Okay, and this is going to be how many of you are able to relate, closely linked to Maslow's hierarchy of need. Yes, but how many of you are able to relate with these human drivers? How many of you are able to relate? Yes. Wow, great. Shivani, thank you. Paramjit ji, thank you. Wow, great. Good. So let me move ahead to the step 7. Very, very important. This is the physical aspect of neuroscience. Not only everything will evolve inside. You need to do something consistently, consciously, to make sure it creates an impact, and something called the power of postures. Very, very important. What are postures? Postures are like door to your identity. Sometimes we open the wrong door and steps into a wrong role for dealing with the situation, again causing inconvenience in our focus and our decisions. Again, understand, when we open the wrong door, what happens? We create inconvenience in our focus and our decisions. We are constantly opening and closing these doors because we are all performing the role of a leader. From one posture to the next, influencing the decisions and action, each directing our energy in one direction or another. By understanding these postures, we will gain access to the roles each play in our identity, some that we may not have access to for a long time. We may not be having an access to for a long time, but still the understanding plays a very, very important role. And these are going to be necessary for a balanced life, better decision, and to be the leader we want to be. So now I want to tell you what is the first one. So if you see in last almost 1.5 hours when I'm discussing and I'm doing this masterclass with you, have you seen my energy dropping? Quickly, just let me know. Have you seen my energy dropping even for a 1 second? No. Thank you. So as a leader, there are different postures which you all need to understand and why it is important. The first posture is a posture of an emperor. And when in what situations or circumstances you adopt an emperor position? You adopt when there is an announcement needs to be made. When something authentic you want to communicate to the people. You stand like an emperor. Believe in your mind that you're standing like an emperor. And you will say, dear team, it was an amazing task. You all have done. You have all supported. It's like a farewell speech. It's like a speech given at the beginning of the task. When you have facts, when you have figures, and you really want to sound like an emperor. Emperor, not aggressive. emperor that is maybe assertive but not aggressive. Emperor standing like this, okay? Today I want to just take it. So posture like this, and you're standing still, calm, not too loud, but still you're saying in a wonderful way, I'm an emperor, and I've seen people, all of you have done a lot of things for me, great energy, great things, blah, 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 as an emperor. So either it's an announcement, an important discussion which you are leading, be an emperor. Role of an emperor is a must. When it comes, you need to adopt that posture and behave like an emperor, because only then, in real tone and in real voice modulation, that message will go and will create that kind of an impact. Second will be a warrior. Now, what is a warrior? Warrior, every time ready for a war. Every time. Ye senapati hai, ye warrior hai. Correct? How will you think a warrior will look like? Aggressive, always ready to fight. His voice will command. His voice will be motivational. His voice will be like of Sunny Deol motivating in a border movie, or in Shah Rukh Khan motivating in Chak De India, or blah, blah, blah. He's a warrior. When you need to drive people in this tough time, I have worked with my clients. I've made them a warrior. I've asked them to perform like a warrior when it comes to getting things done from people. And I've asked them to be an emperor when it needs to console people, when it needs to make an announcement, be it bad or worse announcement. But if you are ready to take a bold decision and go for an announcement, stand like an emperor. If you want to drive people with energy, with motivation, warrior is the pose. You need to drive people with your voice modulation high, energy high, put your energy and bring best out of people. The third one is a child posture. A child posture is like when you are engaged with people and somebody's sharing some great insight, their happiness, or somebody's sharing their success, achievements. You need to be sit like this, and you need to be engrossed in that conversation. You need to look into their eyes. You need to open your eyes wide open, body loose. You need to enjoy that communication. You don't need to be assertive. Oh, wow, wonderful, bahut acha kiya. Ye sab karne ki zarurat nahi hai. You need to behave like a child. Like you are with your child, like with your best buddies. You behave like a child, and you will see the people, people will feel that you're more authentic in that mode. If you are aggressive, if you're emperor in that mode, and you sit like this and talk, oh wow, that's great, you have done a great job. If you are sitting like this, people will not accept it. People will not accept this as a style of an authentic leader. You need to behave like a child. You need to sit like this, talk to them. Finally, a posture of a lover. And all of you have been a lover. Either yes or no, I accept both the answer, but I believe all of us was a lover. And what does that mean? Whenever somebody is sharing their personal examples, whenever sharing something of family, a challenge, a situation in their life which they are not able to feel, they are opening up some, they're ready to open up their heart to you. Make them feel comfortable like a lover. Listen to them. Hold their hands. Be a little, today we need to keep a distance, but then show compassion, show empathy. That's the feeling of a lover. And believe you me, my dear friends, your better half will love it if you start behaving more in that lover posture. Your arms folded, your shoulders forward, energy from the heart area radiating. You're engrossed in that conversation. Your better half will love you more. That is for sure. That is the byproduct which you're going to get. How many of you really, really would, and how many of you promise me that you will try your level best to apply these postures in your life? Say, I promise, quickly. And these postures, I'm really sure this has created miracles in the life of my clients. This has created lives in miracles, because you are radiating the right energy from your body, which is required in that situation. I promise. Wonderful. We'll try. Bhargaviji, you need to promise me, and then you can try. Okay, that's great. My posture is always of a child and a lover. Wonderful, Rajeshji. Great. But if you are in a leadership role, now you need to focus more on. If you are having, a strength of one of these postures, try and to generate your strengths in other aspects as well. More postures are always of child and lover, need to develop E and yes. Okay, great. Let me move ahead towards now the end. Now, my question. Okay, so here I comes with the 7 elements. I want to just repeat it for all of you again, quickly. Just a quick round of discussion, sorry, not a discussion, and understanding. Step 1, to unleash the best leadership identity based on neuroscience, what you need to have the understanding between reasoning and thinking, because it will create intelligence. Second, what you need to do, you need to understand the 3 parts of the brain: cognitive, limbic, and reptilian. And you need to be away from vinashakale viparita buddhi. Third, you need to understand and fuel the identity evolution journey, which we have discussed. A beautiful journey, a step-by-step journey of evolution and focusing and unleashing the core identity. Fourth, understanding how to control and subdue uncomfortable emotions and avoid bad or worst feeling. I hope you understand and you will remember this example, that you are always in control of which wave you have to take, and you have a lifeboat to save you. Understanding and embracing the colored glass syndrome. You need to respect, you need to understand and respect that different people wear different glasses. You need to make sure that you give extra effort to understand their colored glasses and deal with them accordingly. Step 6, create mastery in colored brain communication model. I told you how it operates. There are different ways, different models. You can go to coloredbrain.com and get a detailed insight. Now, human drivers, every time a driver is driving us, there are 8 human drivers, and either although it is there, but we can consciously take one driver driving us at multiple times, and we can align our awareness and our directions, our decisions based on that driver as well. Finally, the power of postures. You all have promised me that you will start implementing emperor, child, lover, and warrior in your life to create better impact, powerful impact, empowered impact as a leader. Now, coming to the end of this session, I want to have few questions to you. Not 3 learnings. I found much more than that. Thank you so much. Top 3 learnings, if you can relate. Impact in your personal life. I'm not asking about the professional right now. Quickly, write down. Top 3 learnings. Top 1 learning, maybe 1. Just start with 1. 1 learning which will impact in your personal life. Quickly. Postures, very good. Thank you so much. Human drivers. Wow, amazing. Postures. Thank you, Sanjay ji, for your input. Oh yes, Penang, that's a wonderful idea. Quickly, if you really want to speak, I think we can do that. That's not a problem. Avoid 10% brain to overtake 90%. Wow, Mohit, if you're able to do this, you will enjoy your life. Wow, default network, understanding the colored glass of others. Different people wear different glasses. Good. Now I want to ask this question again. I want to now, 1 learning which will impact your professional life as a leader. Quickly. Professional life as a leader. Not to overthink, but understand more. Wow, wonderful. Colored glasses, wonderful. Increase in the circle of tolerance. All the best. I think you will, if you're able to do this, you will see a better human being within you. Wow, good. Okay. Now, I have today something great to share with you. And this is an amazing thing which I'm going to share right now with all of you. What impact do you think all these learning can have in your life as a leader in next 3 to 5 years? If, for example, what I have given is just an overview of things, if it is in a structured way, given to you in a structured way, what impact do you feel if you are able to consistently work on evolution journey, colored glass syndrome, understanding people in a different way, and you get all the tools and structure, how it is going to impact in next 3 to 5 years? Uh, I know people have what people have shared, but this is really going to have a lot of deeper impact because people think and believe, and they will start responding more intelligently to situation. A better human being. Yes, thank you so much for that great reply. Today, I have an amazing offer for you and your organization. Do you want to know that? Quickly. Foresee a balanced leader will be much a better leader. Thank you so much for such encouraging response. I have an amazing offer for you and your organization. Do you want to know about that? Quickly tell me. Yes, good. So this is something amazing, and I'm really super excited to share it with all of you right now. That today, your friend, Dr. Anshul Dhingra, who is your facilitator today, is one of the top 30 trainers in India, across the globe, sorry, who is empowered to conduct one of the top 3 leadership program rated as World Top Leadership Development Program 2020, the 3rd number, the Hero's Way. If you see this training website called Global Gurus, this Global Gurus have ranked Hero's Way as the top 3, one of the top 3 amongst the top 20 leadership programs in the world. And I am one of the leading authority and authorized person to conduct this program across Asia. And this is what I can offer to you. As a leader of your organization, whatever I have shared, be it postures, be it encoded assumptions, be it a different part of the learning, all this can be implemented in your organization. There is a structured way, there is a structured manual, a beautiful interruption, graphics where you learn more about lizard ways, you learn more about reptilian ways, and in a detailed way. This is a structured model, and this is going to have a lot of impact in the organization. Now, why this is not a sales pitch and why I'm sharing this is very, very important for understanding. I'm sharing this because today, the need of understanding human from human point of view, from emotional point of view, from deeper insight point of view, from emotional point of view, from a different point of view, from, sorry, neuroscience point of view, has been, the importance has so much today. We need to understand this, otherwise the leadership will be in challenge. The leadership will be in question. Today, leader needs to align themselves in one direction. Leader need to align their thought process in one direction. And this program can give all the leaders of your organization one direction, one vision, one language, and no jargons. You understand humans from human point of view. You understand people from their colored brain perspective. A scientific tool. You understand people from human drivers. You align colored brain and human driver to extract the best potential from the people. How many days program this leadership? Different way, Rajeshji, I would love to say that this is a customized program. You can connect the team leads team. We can share the detail with you. We can get in a conversation, and I can understand your requirements, people better, so that I can support. Good, thank you so much. Now, how many of you are really interested in taking one of the top 10 leadership program in your organization? We will soon be initiating certain open batches where you can enroll, and this is something your organization should do. This is, and if you want more details about this program, if you are interested in understanding how this operate, how colored brain model operate, it is a purely different, colorful model, and yeah, the program needs to be scheduled for 2 hours. That was scheduled for 1.5. Santosh Savanji, I'm really, I understand I took a little more time today and I apologize for that. But, sometimes it happens that when you are engrossed in a conversation with a wonderful audience, time really passed by. And I really I respect time, but today I think, yes, you enjoyed. Thank you so much. Okay, quickly, I would like to know now, people, I would request you now, you can unmute yourself. Quickly, the email address where you can send all your queries and things is training@teamleasuniversity.ac.in. And you can also visit our website, teamleaslearning.com. So before you go, let me just have a word with you. Now, quickly, I want to just stop sharing and I want all of you to please come live. Let's see each other, turn on your videos, let's have an interaction. I want to know how much value I've been able to, really bring it to your life. Thank you for this lovely session. I have to leave, another meeting lined up. No problem. Plabani, please go ahead. Wish you all the best. Quickly, can I have your videos turned on, or if you want to unmute yourself and share your feelings. Quickly, share your learnings, share the feedback. Can we start with Paramjit Arora ji, Mohit Choksi ji?
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Anshul, it was a great time. I didn't realize we spent 2 hours.
Wow.
That's how you keep people engaged. It was a wonderful session. And as I had seen that this could be a value addition to myself to understand neuroscience, it's a vast topic.
True.
And I did learn a lot of things, even being connected with a lot of NLP practitioners in certain groups. But as it says that prayer is everything new, and you said there are colored glasses, yes, and you did bring some value addition with me. It was a wonderful time.
Thank
And
you so much.
time was not a constraint. Trust me, every second, every moment, I could, I can talk about this. I was not disconnected.
Wow,
In fact,
great.
I would complain rather. The content was so fast that before I could make my notes, you were like jumping to a couple of more slides. So I still
But
miss out on that
no
example of
problem.
ocean and
Ocean.
layers.
Okay, never mind. So I will ask the team leads team to share the recording.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Wish you all the best. Okay, someone else quickly. Swaminathan ji, Sumit Agarwal ji, Rajesh Sarkar ji, quickly. Can I have a few words from you?
Hey, thanks a lot. It's really, really a wonderful, energetic, session. And probably, we could take it forward, for our career and, for the leadership. So it's very good. Thanks for giving this session. Very energetic session. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you. Yes.
Anshul ji.
Yes, Rajesh ji, please.
Okay, great. I'm in open office, so I cannot be so loud.
No problem. No problem.
But
I want your emotions rather than your language.
So I'm a bit definitely I always play with emotions. Okay.
Wonderful.
So that's great. I'm being part of leadership program a lot. Okay, and I believe that for any organization, leadership plays the most crucial role in a live wire for any organization. Okay. Unfortunately, what happened that, as you said, people doesn't understand the basic things. They do not know themselves. So how they behave, how they act, they were not aware of that. This is a journey for all of us to help them to grow. So this program is pretty authentic program. I'm really engrossed. To be frank with you, I am in a pressure to go for a loop, but I'm not able to go.
Wow. Thank you so
So
much.
this is the kind of you want, okay?
That's a wonderful compliment for the day.
Yeah. And I believe the problem, why I love these programs is not only because of me. What happened that because of not understanding the leadership, area very well, what happened that below the level people, they lose their jobs sometime. They struggle a lot with cope up with the leaders. Unfortunately, I have seen the 87% of the problem lying with leadership only.
True.
They are not able to grow their mouth because of
True.
the driven by the ego or driven by their so-called colored glass not understanding in your
Yes. Yes.
language.
Yes.
I would request all the leadership group of India and abroad, to understand with a much more empathetic manner to their next level people. They can grow well. Okay,
True.
everybody has the potential. So what you are doing a fantastic job of helping them. We are also a leadership team to bring forth this kind of program to at least help the organization and the next level people and themselves also very well.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So
Wonderful. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
I'm very
And
glad I'm very glad that being part of this program actually.
wonderful. Thank you so much. And I must tell you one thing. We are so inclined that the team leads team and the way you are thinking, we also feel in the same way that right now in our country, we need strong
Yeah.
leaders and we need to
Yeah.
strongly emphasize. And that's why we took this topic.
Very true.
Thank you so
Very
much.
true. Very
Thank
true.
you.
We will definitely connect. Okay.
Sure. Sure.
I personally do conduct leadership programs, so I do invite many people like you. Unfortunately, I didn't know you earlier. It's my misfortune. So we'll see how to work on this.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
And
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. Thank you. Can I have some more response from Nirmalji, from Moses, some other people quickly? Miss Monica, Yashashri, or just say goodbye so that we can close.
But I have one suggestion. May I make?
Yeah, please, please, please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. This program generally for 2 days, right? I mean, generally for 2 days, right?
Yeah. No, but so the hero's way, it starts from there are 3 levels, from 2 days to 5 days, depending on the audience, depending on the requirement, the kind of intensity required. So if all the assessment needs to be done, then it requires a time.
Do you add also some kind of psychometrics testing on that?
Yes.
To that?
Yes. Yes.
You are based out of which place? Which country? Which place?
I'm based out of a team lead's office here is in Delhi,
Bangalore.
Gurgaon, Delhi, Gurgaon.
Gurgaon.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Rajesh, Dinesh here. We are based, our office is in Delhi,
Yes.
and our, head office is in Bangalore. So, what we service the customers throughout.
I
Throughout
know.
the country.
We work with team leads. You work with team leads. So
Yeah.
our people are in your board.
Okay.
So that's why we got to know about this.
Yes. Great.
Okay, the
Okay.
suggestion, I'm sorry.
Hi,
I'll take
Anshulji.
two
This
more
is
steps.
Monica here.
Yes, Miss Monica. Would love to hear
Thank
something
you.
from you.
Yes, I was enjoying the program for last 2 hours. It was really good fun. And unfortunately, my internet connection was going off again and again in between, so I was reconnecting. But let me say that you've done true justice to the topic of neuroscience. That's my favorite topic in any case, and I am sure that you have increased my knowledge on the subject many folds.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's
Thank you
really
so much. Thanks to you.
wonderful. Thank you. In case if you have missed, the team will definitely share the recordings with you, I think.
Yes, I would love to go through it again.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Anshulji, Pinank here. I think we are at 6:13 now, right? And we have to respect everybody's time, right? And
Yes.
we are really thankful to these 13 people on the call who stayed right till the end with us, right? And I have no doubts in saying that they were the most studious learners, if I can put it that way. And their interest is expressed in their behavior to stay with us till the to the last minute. So Rajesh ji, Paramjit, Monica, everybody, do not worry. Dinesh is our operations head who heads all the operations and delivery for Pan India. We will write to all of you, not only with the recording, with all the possible engagements that you would like us to arrange for you.
Wonderful.
Right? So write back to us, and obviously one of our operations managers or customer success managers will directly get in touch with you. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody,
Thank you.
for spending time. Thank you, Anshul ji.
Thank you so much. Thank you once
Thank you
again,
so
everyone.
much. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care.
Thanks everyone.